Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers again. Yes, I've had a disappointing 2020 so far, and yesterday was one of those peak times in my day where I just felt like I was so frustrated and I just wanted to give up because I had spent so much time trying to figure out these connecting rods. And while I received a lot of input from a lot of you guys that comment on the comment section of the YouTube channel, specifically on this particular episode, a lot of you were telling me to measure and stuff. Well, I mean, yeah, it'd be great if I had one of those micrometers and plastic gauges or whatever and to measure, but honestly, that's not the issue though. The issue is that I've tried these 42 rods in this 46 engine block several times in different combinations, upside down, right side up, cap swapped, flipping the caps back and forth. I mean, I've probably taken this apart like 4 or 5 times, you know, and obviously from taking it apart 4 or 5 times, you get really good at it, you know. It hasn't been that fun, to be honest with you. It's very frustrating because there's just not enough knowledge that I know about the opposed twins. I mean, I thought I knew a lot, you know, but when it comes down to the details of the cubic inch and the 46, the difference between the 46 and the 42 rods, it's a little beyond me, you know, since I've had absolutely no formal training whatsoever, you know, in terms of being a mechanic, which I'm not. I'm not a mechanic. I'm a flipper, but I'm a determined flipper, so that if there's something broken, I could try to figure it out to get it to run so I can sell it for money. And basically, you know, I don't want anybody to be confused. I am not a mechanic. I'm a flipper. And my idea is to, from nothing, get something and sell it for money. From nothing, you know. There are other flippers out there. Of course, you guys know Nick from Medford, Jason Pate. They actually go out and spend good money, $200, $300, $400 on good equipment, brush it off, clean it, and then sell it for $200, $300, $400 profit, which is a good idea. I'm not knocking that idea at all. But my idea, I think, is, I wouldn't say better, but it suits my needs, where I get things for free, fix them, and sell it for the full price. Yes, I do spend quite a lot of time fixing it, right? And sometimes it doesn't work out right, you know. Sometimes I'll end up spending money eventually to get that thing going and then to sell it, right? And then, so my critics will say, well, why didn't you just do what Jason and Nick from Medford do? They don't have to spend any money. They just spend the money up front, get a tractor that's good to go, and then sell it. I'm like, yeah, I could do that too, but where would my episodes come from? You know, each episode would be like 5 minutes. Oh, here, I bought this, I shined it up, and I sold it. There you go. That's a 5-minute episode. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to me, it's a lot more interesting trying to get engines together and building it with your hands so that you can, you know, get it all together and ship it off and sell it, you know, for money. Which is why I was willing to abandon this project. Today when I woke up, I says, that's it. I'm done ski with this idea. The 242 connecting rods are just not right for this 46 cubic inch engine, right? And that the only way I can get this going is to go out and buy 2 46 cubic inch connecting rods, because this is what came out of here. So you know this will work. So the curved connecting rod will work. I don't have curved connecting rods. And you know how much they cost on eBay? That's right, minimal, $45 a piece. So if I'm going to go out and spend 90 on top of the 30 that I just spent on the straight ones, right? This entire project would not be profitable. And plus, even if I did spend that $130, right, to get the right connecting rods, there's no guarantee that this thing will run right. Because remember, the journal on the top part of this crankshaft was filed down by me to smooth it out from the damage to it. So there's no guarantee of longevity with this either, you know. So I was gonna just Well, I wasn't going to do it with this one. I was going to just put this one together, you know, put the sump on, put this engine back on this tractor, roll this tractor to the back until one day maybe I would run across another lawn tractor that had a 46 cubic inch opposed twin engine in it, and I would try to fix that with the parts that I had from here, because this is almost a complete engine, you know, minus the curved connecting rods, you know. So I went to my backyard today, to the shed, because I have a box of opposed twin parts. Because remember, I've rebuilt 2 or 3 other opposed twin engines before in my life. So I have a box of opposed twin parts. So I went back there just to get the box out so that I could take this thing apart and throw it in there, right? So when I went to the back to go look at the box, you know what I found? I found a complete 46 cubic inch block, just like this, a good sump. Are you ready? Are you ready? I found a 46 cubic inch connecting rod attached to the piston. Is that incredible or what? So now I have 2 46 curved angle connecting rods, which is exactly what I need to put this together finally. Now I've got 2 matching 46 inch connecting rods. Although they kind of look different. Doesn't the left one look bigger than the right one just from the naked eye? One says 1A, the other says 2A. Yep. That's a problem, right? One says 1A, one says 2A. I can't put 1A and 2A because look, it just from looking, I thought there was a difference. Maybe I'm wrong. Huh? They are slightly different. Very slightly, but nevertheless different. No, maybe they're not. Oh, hell, I don't know. But you know what? I'm gonna give it a try. Now look, I will tell you this. The other one is damaged. See, has a little bit of a crack there. But, you know what? I'm going to try it anyway. You know? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put these 2 46s in there. See if it rotates right. It's going to be a pain in my balls, though. I'll tell you that. Also, this is actually a good piston. But, it's missing the bottom oil ring, right? And also it's very stiff. The rings don't freely move. So this thing needs to get soaked in gas for a while to loosen it up, because there's a lot of dried oil in between the grooves for the rings, and it's hard to turn, hard to move. It has to be very loose. And I'd have to replace that oil ring. So I'm gonna take one of the oil rings off of see, because this is a good piston, see? And it's a 46. So I'm going to take one of the bad pistons out and put the oil ring on here to replace it after I soak this in some gas. But looks like that's what I'm going to do. But while I'm soaking this in gas, right, it's going to take a while to soak, right, I am going to take that one apart completely and throw it in my box and get rid of that engine block, because that engine block is Dunsky! Over here in the corner here, I have my dirty oil container where I used to do oil changes, and I throw all the old oil in there. I have this old ass gas from other tractors that, you know, it's difficult to get rid of ass gas. You know, you want to drain the ass gas and put it somewhere, but you can't exactly dump this anywhere, you know. So I just save it in a container and I soak carbs with it sometimes. Well, today I'm just going to pour this all in here. You know, I'm just going to pour all of it in there. So I've got ass gas and some oil mix in there, right? And I'm just going to dunk that piston in there to soak the rings. So here's the 46 piston. Clearly says 1A 46, and it's actually in very good shape. It's not damaged. So this, again, this right here is worth $45, you know. While I'm soaking it, I'm going to take apart that other opposed twin, the one, the original one from the LT1000. As you can see, the top ring is good, the bottom ring is good, but they're both like encased inside in the grooves. There's like dried oil, so it's difficult to turn, and it's hard for it to expand, you know, on its own. The bottom third oil ring here is missing the bottom and top ring that are on the top and bottom of the springy thing for the oil ring. So, you know, by looking at this piston, it's a good piston. I mean, you can see some slight scoring marks over here, but I think it'll be all right. They're just superficial. You don't feel it with your fingers, you know, you just see it with your eyes. And the journal, it moves freely on the bottom there, so I'm going to give it a try, you know, instead of me abandoning the whole idea. I've got a connecting rod and a piston right here. Might as well try it, right? You know, give it one last hurrah before I give up. You know, if I give up, I give up. Anyway, so I'm going to soak that for a while, and I'm going to take the pieces off of that, disassemble that engine right there, because that one has a bad engine block. I'm just going to chuck that engine block away, but I'm going to keep the parts. It is absolutely crazy frustrating, guys. Crazy frustrating, man. So while I'm soaking the 46 piston and rings, I went ahead and disassembled that old engine, as you saw. A lot of good parts on there, and I put all that stuff away. These are the things that I need to make this 46. So while I was waiting for the piston and rings to be soaking in there to free it up a little bit, I decided I was going to remove the 242 pistons and connecting rods, right? And take one of the 46 piston and rings and install it. So when I installed it, I was turning this thing around and it hits the cam, which I completely don't understand, because this is the piston and ring that came from this engine, right? So then I thought maybe I put the piston in the wrong way because it's angled. Maybe I have to do it this way, right? So I took it back out again and I put it in that way. So now when I try it, it's not even close. I mean, it's worse than before. It actually hits the side of the block. The bolt hits the block. So I had it right the first time. So then it occurred to me what was wrong. Are you ready for this? Get ready for this. This is the 42 crankshaft, remember? So I have a feeling, even though from the naked eye you didn't see any differences, right? But apparently there are differences. So this is the 42 crank. The only thing I could think of is that I need to use a 46 crank for the 46 pistons, for the 46 connecting rods. And this is the 46 camshaft. You know what I'm saying? So everything's got to be 46 in here. The only thing that's not 46 in here is this crankshaft. Which means I have to grab the 46 crankshaft. The problem with that is this 46 crankshaft has a rough journal too. So I'm gonna have to, you know, go to town and smooth this one out too. You know, man, oh man, it never ends, man. Lots and lots and lots of work. Well, here I go. I'm gonna try to smooth this journal out now. Can you believe it? I mean, this is just crazy. But I've been trying to polish this one here for quite a while, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better, you know. So I think that this one's pretty damaged, and the grooves are very deep. So even though no matter how much I'm trying to sand it right, it still doesn't really smooth out, you know. So I went to the back, and I found another 46-inch crankshaft. This is identical to this one. Identical.
Identical.
This one here, the one that I can't smooth out, 511 and 6. Oh dear, this is a 511 and a 5. So this is also a 42. Man, I've just got pickles all over the place. It's just not going to work out, man. Gonna have to do some thinking, fellas. I'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Hey guys, support my channel. Buy a sticker. Also follow me on Instagram at Mowers Blowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com.